Okay. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
So I was going through your book. I felt last time which we discussed the R cross. Right now it's not that much required. इसके बिना भी काम हो जाएगा. So okay. So what I felt is that we will be just going through the text. That much theory is sufficient, and we will work more on problems. Okay. Once we complete the theory, that will be easier for you, and that will be helpful for you because in class 10, better is if we can more, more is like the most prominent thing in class 10 is your board exams, which are going to come after few months, 7, 8, 10 months. So this much theory is sufficient, whatever is given in book, and I was trying to kind of go a little more into details and all, but then I felt even just understanding clockwise movement, anti-clockwise movement, and all that is also sufficient. Okay, so what we will do is we will try to just uh, just understand the theory part of it from the book itself. Okay, fine. So. So, have you read this theory before?
Yes, sir.
Acha, whole of this is completed. The entire theory is completed.
No, sir.
Right. Entire theory of this chapter. No.
No, sir.
Okay. So you just kind of tell me, okay, which is so we'll be going through the chapter. You just tell me which part you feel now that, sir, please tell me about, sir, please tell me about this little more. Okay. So yeah, fine. So we were discussing about we started for so we started from this translation motion and rotation. We had seen different ways by which the motion gets is involved. The torque is involved. Moment of force is involved in our day-to-day life, turning the key, door knob, bottle cap, and all. And then we talked about translation motion, rotation motion, and then we started focusing on turning effect of a force or torque. Okay. So, and then we discussed about how to. Then we discussed how we get the information and we get the calculation of the moment. Okay. So, in that we had discussed about uh, the moment which is caused by the force, that is r cross f. So r is the perpendicular distance from the line of axis to the point where the force is applied, the point of application of force. Okay. So this was what we discussed. So the turning effect of force acting on a body about an axis is called the moment of force or torque. And in class 10, I saw that there are questions which are based upon definitions also, right? You're asked definitions also to kind of write down and all.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so fine. So these all things you can memorize. Factors affecting the turning of a body. the magnitude of the force applied and the distance of line of action of the force from the axis of rotation. And one more thing is that so this is our previous additions. Okay, so the new additions right now, they are not. So they said it will take some time to come in the market and all. One shop added, so it will, so I will get the new edition. But then principle wise, the theory will be more or less same only. Okay, and especially the problems and all we'll solve, for a variety of things we will solve it, so then it will become more clear. Okay, so the so that's what we had kind of discussed this. So any body is there, this is the line of axis, and this is the point where force is being applied. Okay, so this is R. Yeah, this is R, and this is F. Okay, so how it happens is, so how we kind of find out what is the moment. So the moment becomes F into R, and R is the perpendicular distance. Okay, this has to be kept in mind. In some of the books it's also mentioned the R F into sine theta. Now what does sine theta means? Sine theta means the angle between R and F, this angle. So if the F is like this, then sine theta becomes this. If F is like this, then theta becomes it's 180 degree. Or if suppose F is like this, then theta becomes 0 degree. Getting the angle between R and theta. So sine theta, no, such a way that theta, when theta is 0, sine theta is 0. When theta is 180 degree, sine theta is again 0. When theta is 90 degree, then sine theta is 1. Okay, so that's why when it is, when this is 100% perpendicular, the effect of force is maximum. Effect of force is maximum on the torque. Okay, like the torque is R cross F. So this sine theta, R cross F, R F sine theta. So this sine theta is maximum when F is perpendicular. So that's why the effect of F on torque, the magnitude of torque becomes maximum. Okay, so we will we'll go a little more ahead. So force is, so moment is force into perpendicular distance of force from the point O. Okay. Fine. Okay, then it produces two kinds of moments: clockwise moment and anti-clockwise moment. The direction of turning or rotation. So this we had discussed last time also. Okay, that how it produces clockwise and how it produces anti-clockwise. We had also discussed that anti-clockwise is positive, clockwise is negative. But then I found in the discussion in the chapter that it is not required, that positive or negative, we are not required to kind of deal only with that. So we will not deal. Then units of moment of force. Okay, so unit of moment of force is, unit of moment of torque. So unit of moment of force is Newton, and unit of torque. So torque is RF. So R is in meter, F is in Newton. Newton is what? Kg ms minus 2, mass into acceleration. Okay, so therefore the unit of torque becomes Newton meter, or it becomes kg meter square s minus 2. Now this Newton can also be, you know, this Newton, it when it converts to CGS units, it becomes dyne. Okay. So now the question may be asked to you is that how much. So this is not this. This is the how the MKS and CGS systems are related with each other. So this is very simple. So we know that it is Newton meter. So you break the Newton also, it becomes kg ms minus 2. So the entire thing becomes kg ms minus kg m square s minus 2, which is equal to 1000 grams into 100 centimeter square s minus 2, 10 to the power 7 g centimeter square s minus 2. So this becomes how much? 10 to the power 7 dyne centimeter. Okay. So 1 Newton meter equals 10 to the power 7 dyne centimeter. So this is MKS unit and this is CGS unit. Okay. So we'll complete the theory today. Some examples of turning effect of force. Fine, is it clear? Is it okay? This is simple thing only.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So then we go ahead. So some examples of turning effect of force. So the first one is about a door and hinge. Okay. So this is the hinge. This is door. So if you apply force in this way, so this is the distance. Let us say D, and this is F. So this entire thing rotates about this axis. And what is the rotation? What will be the numerical formula? F into D. Okay, so this is how we get the answer in door hinge. So to open or shut a door, we apply a force normal to the door at its handle, which is a larger distance from the hinge. So this is known as hinge, where the door is fixed to the wall. Okay. Where door fixes itself to wall. Right. Now here, if you see, then here it's something is mentioned. Some important thing is mentioned, that is okay. So it is common experience that if we apply the force at a point near the hinge, much greater force is required to open the door, correct? So
Yes, sir.
how we prove it? So simple. If suppose we are applying force here, second force we are applying here, this is F1, this is F2, and this is D2, this is D1. So now for moving this door, we may require a force. We are suppose when we apply a force of F1 at a distance D1, then the door opens. That means what? F1 D1 is the force required to open the door. Okay. Okay, force, or that is not force, it's a torque required. Torque required to open the door. Okay, so now when we apply at F2, what is the torque? F2 into D2. So therefore F1 D1 should equal to F2 D2. Correct? And we know that D1 is greater than D2. That means what? So D1, you can write F2 D2 divided by F1 is greater than D2. This means what? F2 should be greater than F1. D2 D2 cancelled. F2 should be greater than F1. Clear? So this F2 should be greater than F1. You know, if because D1 is greater than D2. So this inequality, we are kind of getting. And if D1, suppose we tell if D1 is 4 times of D2, okay, if D2 is 2 centimeter and D1 is 8 centimeter, then how much force we have to apply? F1 into 4 D2 is equal to F2 into D1, F2 into, sorry, D2, D2 D2 cancelled. F2 should be equal to 4 F1. Okay, so if the distance is 4 times, then this force also becomes 4 times. So there is a kind of linear linear relationship between both of them. Okay. Fine. Then second example given is the upper circular handle of a hand floor. If a hand floor grinder is provided with a handle near its rim so that it can be rotated easily about the iron pivot at its center by a small force applied at the handle. So this is about door hinge. Second example given here is that previously in previous times they used to have a hand grinder. Okay. Okay, here it's not being shown. Sure. Fine. Okay, we will come to this example. Fine. Next class, na, I will show one photo of it. Okay. Right now, I'll just kind of mention. So previously, there used to be the grinder used to be in our homes only, and the ladies in the home, they used to grind it. Okay. So how was the mechanism? So there is grains were put into this. Okay, grains were put into it, and then there was one handle here attached. This handle they used to rotate. Okay, so now this handle when they are rotating, and this is there is one there this is fixed. There is one rod here. It's fixed. So what used to happen when they used to rotate it? So this handle was provided at a distance, the maximum distance from the center. If it is applied, if the handle is here only, then you have to apply greater force. But if the handle is here, you have to apply lesser force only. Okay. Fine. Next class I will come on. Okay. Third is for turning a steer wheel, a force is applied tangentially on the rim of the wheel. The sense of rotation of wheel is changed. So this is again very nice, very important thing. That so when we have to, so if you see, the car has this is the a rod is connected to the axle of the wheels. Okay. And to move this wheels, to turn these wheels, you have to rotate this rod. It's a small, this rod is there. This has to be rotated. So when this rod has to be rotated, it's very difficult to just rotate the rod through that rod only. So that's why they provide a steering to it. Okay. So therefore they provide like a big this um, the steering wheel is there. Okay. So this is provided. So then what happens is, through this, using this, the torque applied becomes, with less force only you can apply torque. Okay. Because the distance has increased. Okay. In a bicycle, the toothed wheel is rotated by applying less force on the foot pedal, which is at a large distance from the axle of the wheel. So same thing we say in wheel also, that in order to rotate it, okay, you can see here. So in order to rotate this axle, easier thing is that we apply the force on this foot pedal. We apply the force like this. Okay. Then what is happening? This force, no, this is the distance. This is the distance from the axle. Okay. So because the distance increases, then the force becomes less. Is it clear? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Fine. Better as we go directly this. And then there is one very important example. So this example is very important and relevant for us. Okay. And many questions they are asked from this example only. So when there is a nut to be fixed, okay, we can kind of understand here. So when this nut has to be fixed, so how it happens is that we, this spanner or wrench which is there, so we apply a force in this direction. Now if we apply a force in this direction, then what happens? The distance is less. Okay, the distance is less, and therefore this force has to become more. This force has to become greater than this. So therefore we apply the force as far away from the axis of rotation. Right. So we go ahead. Okay, and these are some more. So these are some examples. Okay. So now comes, now there is a discussion of something, something which is known as couples. So what is a couple? A couple is that it is a set of two forces, okay, which are identical, which it can be, which are identical in magnitude, but they are opposite in direction. Okay. That becomes a couple. So when you have something you want to open, you apply a force this side and you apply a force this side. So then what happens is that there is no linear movement, because linearly it is F minus F equals 0. Zero force is being applied linearly, but then there is a torque produced by both of them. So that torque is that torque produces a that moment of force produces a turning effect. So that is a couple. So that's what is being said here. So it may be mentioned here that a single force always produces a transverse. Fine. So actually the turning is always produced by a pair of forces, right? So there's two equal and opposite parallel forces not acting along the same line of motion. Not acting along the line, they form a couple. So a couple is always needed to produce the rotation. Okay, so that is couple. And these are few examples given where we discuss about. These are few examples given where we'll be discussing about how we apply the how we apply equilibrium. Okay. So when a number of forces acting on a body produce no change in its state of rest or of motion, the body is said to be in equilibrium. So equilibrium means that the body doesn't change its uh, position. The body's position is, it remains same. So in both the condition it remains same. In linear motion also it remains the same, and in rotational motion also the body remains the same. So there are two very important factors. Okay, so the equilibrium is of two kinds: static equilibrium and dynamic equilibrium. When a body remains in the state of rest under the influence of the applied forces, the body is in static equilibrium. And dynamic is when a body remains in the same state of motion, that is translation or rotation, under the influence of the applied forces, the body is said to be in dynamic equilibrium. Okay. So is this concept also clear to you? See, I am just kind of going very much fast forward, because you also said na, that these things I already have studied. Na? So till now it's clear, everything is clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so static equilibrium and dynamic equilibrium also you have studied before?
No, sir.
Okay. Right. So what does this static equilibrium mean? So equilibrium itself means that the forces are balanced in a body. Okay. Now what does this mean when forces are balanced? This means that there is no acceleration of the body on the body. The body doesn't accelerate. And when we talk about acceleration in class 10th, this acceleration has two components: linear and angular. So what does this mean? Linear. What does linear mean? Linear means simple. So there is one vehicle. So this vehicle is going. So this, the linear speed v1 changes to v2. So that means there is linear acceleration. What does angular acceleration mean? Angular acceleration means that there is a wheel and this wheel is rotating with some angular velocity, some speed. Then this speed, we tell it as omega 1. This speed changes from omega 1 changes to omega 2. That means that this angular acceleration is not equal to 0. Angular speed is changing. Like previously it used to rotate once in 1 second, but now this is rotating in very fast, in half a second only. The entire rotation is made. That means the rotation velocity is more here, less here. We are not going into details of rotation velocity, it's not in the syllabus. Okay, but just in order to give you an understanding. So there is a linear acceleration, there is an angular acceleration. And angular acceleration is the acceleration which is produced from torque. So the effect of this comes from torque. So torque produces angular acceleration, force produces linear acceleration. Is it clear? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
And in both static and dynamic equilibrium, so in both the equilibriums, the net force and the net torque is 0 in both the equilibriums. Okay, so net force means that whatever forces are acting on a body, F1, F2, F3, F4, F5, F6, F7, F8, all these forces, the summation is equal to 0. That means summation of Fx in direction of x, all these forces is 0. In direction of y, all the forces is 0. This is meaning of net force is equal to 0. That's what it means. And when we talk net torque is equal to 0, that means that clockwise movement is equal to anti-clockwise movement. Clear? So that is meaning of net torque 0 and net force 0. So net force 0 means Fx and Fy is 0. Of course, there is in z direction also there may be force, but that is beyond the scope of our syllabus. Okay. So here also there can be torque in different directions also, but for us this much is sufficient. The only difference between static and dynamic equilibrium is, so in both the equilibriums, these both things are 0. Net torque is 0 and not net force is 0. Only difference is that in static equilibrium the body is at rest, and in dynamic equilibrium the body is having a uniform velocity. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So this uniform velocity, it can be linear also and it can be translational also. Sorry, linear also or rotational also. Linear rotation, linear translation is same only. Linear also and rotation also. Okay, so if a body is if a block is there kept on a table and the block is at rest, so all the forces which are acting on the block, they should be equal to 0, Fx 0 and Fy 0, and also all the torques should be 0. Same thing if the body is in dynamic equilibrium. So what does it mean? It means that, imagine, if a train is there, train is going, okay, the train is going, and this train is having, this is the engine of the train, okay, and this is going at a velocity v. So what does dynamic equilibrium means? That it continues going in with the velocity v only. Then what happens is, what exactly it means is that the velocity is not affected. If the velocity is not affected, that means acceleration is 0. If acceleration is 0, that means the net force is 0. क्योंकि अगर एक्सेलरेशन रहता, अगर एक्सेलरेशन इस डायरेक्शन में रहता तो वेलोसिटी बढ़ जाता, एक्सेलरेशन इस डायरेक्शन में रहता तो वेलोसिटी घट जाता, लेकिन वेलोसिटी सेम है, इसका मतलब क्या है? एक्सेलरेशन 0 है, और एक्सेलरेशन 0 का मतलब क्या है? कि नेट फोर्स 0 है. तो डायनामिक में क्या है? वो ऑब्जेक्ट चल रहा है लेकिन तब भी इक्विलिब्रियम में. वैसे ही सेम थिंग जब एक व्हील है या क्लॉक है, क्लॉक, it is going ahead, it is rotating with the same angular speed. It is rotating, and then it is rotating with the same angular speed. What does it mean? That net force is 0, net torque is 0. Here also, when it is going with the same velocity, that what does it mean? Net force is 0, net torque is 0. So in both static equilibrium and dynamic equilibrium, both net force and net torque, both of them will be 0 only. Only difference is कि डायनामिक में वो ऑब्जेक्ट चल रहा है, स्टैटिक में खड़ा है रेस्ट पे. Okay, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Fine. And then we understand about so this is these are the conditions of equilibrium which we had already discussed previously also. Okay, this will just circle around it. So these are two conditions. First condition, this second condition. First condition is resultant of all forces acting body should be equal to 0, and second is resultant moment of all the forces acting body point relation should be 0. Okay. Then we go for principle of moments. So principle of moments, just simply it means sum of anti-clockwise moments is equal to sum of clockwise moments. Okay. So this is an example given. So should I rub it? You want to note it down? You can note it down.
So noted down.
Okay. Fine. So this is one example. So this we will do, and then we will end the class. And then what you have to do is you have to solve all the solved examples which are there. You have to go through it, solve it, and then also the exercise which is there, you have to solve that also. Okay. Then we will discuss. So what we will do is we will discuss one by one. So first what you do is there are around how much? 10. There are 10 questions in the solved examples. So what you have to do is in your home, you have to go through all these 10 examples and you solve it again. Okay. And then we will discuss. If you face some difficulty in some place, we will discuss. I may give few 5-6 more examples like this to you. I may give to solve it, and then we will discuss it tomorrow. Okay. Fine. So this is the question. So the question is simple. Okay. This is a ruler. Okay. And this is one weight. Weight is W1. So what is difference between weight and mass? So weight is M into G. Okay. So M1 into G, and this is weight M2. So the weight becomes M2 into G. Fine. This is D1. This is D2. Okay. So now what is clockwise movement, anti-clockwise movement? We had discussed in detail in our last class. So this becomes anti-clockwise movement. Anti-clockwise मतलब क्या है? Clock कैसे घूमता है? 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Clock ऐसे घूमता है ना? ये ऐसे घूमेगा. So this is clockwise movement. Okay. And that is anti-clockwise. So anti-clockwise movement should be equal to clockwise movement. And anti-clockwise movement is how much? W1 into D1. And clockwise movement is how much? W2 into D2. So both of them, they should be same. Okay. So sometimes they twist this problem. What they do is they twist the problem in such a way. Okay, we'll just solve this one and then we will leave. Right. Okay. So we'll solve this question nicely, and then we will. Nicely means it will take 2 minutes. 404. So okay, my question to you is that we mentioned, it was mentioned that net force should be 0. Correct? And what should be 0? Net torque or moment of force should be 0. Correct? These are the two things for equilibrium. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So there is one ruler, है ना? And last thing which we already discussed was the last problem only. We are just writing it down. This is a string, and this is a ruler. Let us say that the mass of ruler is 0, which is not a case, but still for simple calculations. And there is a force applied. Okay, so this is a 100 centimeter ruler. There is a force applied of 10 newtons at one end. This is how much then? 50 centimeters. And there is one force which is applied at F2. (25 centimeters). Okay, we are said that the body is in equilibrium. Okay, so now find out F2. So what will be F2? Can you find out? Hello?
Sir, 20 Newton.
20 newtons. So what we did was this, है ना? Anti-clockwise movement. Okay. Anti-clockwise movement becomes how much? 10 Newton into 50 centimeter. And clockwise movement becomes how much? F2 into 25 centimeter. And we are said that it is in equilibrium. So we equate it. 10 newtons into 50 centimeter is equal to F2 into 25 centimeter. Correct? This is how we got it. F2 is 20 newtons.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Now my question is that we are calculating this anti-clockwise movement. Right? Anti-clockwise movement we are calculating.
Yes, sir.
Why it is 50 centimeter? Force is here. Why it is 50 centimeter? Why we are writing there 50 centimeters? Why we are not writing 100 centimeters or 75 centimeters? Then
Because 50 centimeters is the distance between force applied in the point where it is fixed, and 100 centimeters that will calculate both on left side and right side total, that is. But
okay. So when we are telling that the body is in equilibrium, what does it mean?
Clockwise movement is equal to anti-clockwise movement
About what?
about a fixed point.
About a,
Fixed point.
and when it is in equilibrium, which all points are fixed? What is meaning of fixed point? Hello?
Yes, sir.
What is meaning of fixed point? What do you call, what do you mean by a fixed point? What do you mean by it? Basically this means that it is a stationary point, right?
Yes, sir.
है ना? Now if you see, then at equilibrium, especially at static equilibrium, है ना, all the points are fixed because it's not going to move. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So now my question is that can we calculate everything about this point? Clockwise movement and anti-clockwise movement, both about this point should be 0. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Can we calculate around this point?
No, sir.
Hmm?
No, sir.
Why? Why we cannot calculate? So the answer is that when we are finding out when it is in rotational equilibrium, the anti-clockwise movement and the clockwise movement is same at all the points. Around this point also if you calculate, it will become same. You are getting?
Yes, sir.
Now your question will be how, right? है ना? Because we are seeing that this F2 will cause rotation around this point, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so it will be same. How it will be same? Okay, so these are two necessary conditions. Net force should be 0 and net torque and moment should be 0. So if you see net force should be 0, then in this there is one more force which is applied. Let us say T, tension. So how much T should be there? We found out T F2 should be how much? 20 newtons, right? This was what we found out. So if F2 is
Yes, sir.
20, how much T should be there? Because net force should be 0. How much T should be there? What should be the value of T? Tension. Here it's 10 newtons, here it's 20 newtons. So this ruler will go down with a 30 Newton force, but then something is kind of obstructing it, something is like pulling it also. So what will be the force here? So for net force to be 0, tell. You're getting what I am telling.
Yes, sir.
So what should be this force so that there is no net force? Like this is same thing, na? One block is there which is pulled by 10 Newton force and 20 Newton force. So and then there is one force which is applied on the top of it. So what should be the force so that there is no acceleration, so that the net force is 0? What should be the force? what should be the force so that the net force or the resultant force is 0?
Newton.
20 newtons. So this is 10 and this is 20. So what should be F so that there is no net force? The resultant force is 0. You know how to get resultant force? What is meaning of this term? Net force is equal to 0. Like an object is there, okay, it is pulled in, with a force of 100 newtons. So how much force you should apply in this direction so that the object doesn't move?
100 Newtons.
If it is pulled with 100 newton and then one more person comes and he pulls with again 50 newton, so how much force should be there?
150.
So same thing here also. There is 10 newton and there is 20 newtons. So how much force should be there? About
30 Newtons.
30 newtons. So if you see here, the tension it should have how much? 30 newtons force. Correct? And on this point, if you observe, then what is the clockwise movement and anti-clockwise movement? So this F is producing, this T tension is producing an anti-clockwise movement. Ready? Like from this point, this will go like this. Due to T, the rotation will be like this on this point. So then what will be the rotation? T into how much? 50. Anti-clockwise movement will become T into 50 centimeter equal to 30 newtons into 50 centimeter. And this will produce a clockwise movement. How much? 20 newtons into how much? 50 plus 25. The distance from here till here, 75 centimeters. 150 newton centimeter. You see here also it is coming same. You are getting? So this means that net force will be 0 and net torque moment of force will be 0. This will be 0 about any point. It will become 0. If you calculate about this point also, how much this will come? So tension is 30 newtons. 30 newtons into 25 centimeter, how much it becomes? 10. 750 newton centimeter. This is the torque at this point. And this is what? This is clockwise torque about this point. And then this will have an anti-clockwise torque. How much? 10 newtons into what is the distance? 75 centimeter. 750 newton centimeter. Is it clear? So about any point, if you find the moment, the net torque or moment of force will come 0 about any point. Okay, and 100% about this point this will come. Okay, any question in this? Is it understood?
No, sir. Yes, sir.
Fine, so you can just copy it. Then in our next class we will discuss, we'll discuss So try to solve the worked out examples. All the examples you solve. If you are having any difficulty, we will discuss in our next class. Okay. So you can note down this and then we end the class.
Done, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.